Hey, welcome to the Happy Rant podcast. I am Ted Klug, joined as always in studio by Barnabas Piper and our special guest host, Ronald J. Martin. Ron, you've been guest hosting on the program for like 3 years now. How does it feel, baby? Do you feel like a regular yet? Because you were sharing with us off the air that you still, in some ways, felt like you were just kind of a guest in Troeg's house, as it were. But I think I speak for Piper in that I want to tell you that you're a made man now. You're part of this program, and you're part of it in perpetuity. How do you feel, baby?
Baby, I can't tell you what that means to me, but so let me say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And coming on to an already established, growing, obviously not where it is since I've been on it, podcast. There's a little. I think there can be a little of that. I wasn't one of the founding.
Fathers,
founding fathers, founding team players, so coming in, it's like, it's like being a first pick draft 3 years in some ways. And I know you guys enjoy that little analogy I just made a lot.
Welcome to Happy Rant Sports, folks.
Absolutely. So,
you would be a guest host on that program.
I think I'm just starting to feel at home. I think the memory and the scent of one Stephen Altroeg is just starting to fade into the proverbial, ether.
So I have two questions in light of that statement. The first is, what is the scent of Altroegi? What would you compare it to? And the second is, what could we have done to make you feel more welcome sooner?
That's good, Piper.
Pipe, that's a good question. I'm just going to be honest with you. You guys did a stand-up job. I don't think it was you. I think it was me. That just felt like maybe, hey, is Troeg's going to want to come back in? And then you guys are going to say, sorry, it was Troeg's gig, so we're going to have to ask you to leave.
You were guarding your heart in that bit.
Well, there might have been a lawsuit after that or something. I don't know. I haven't figured that one out yet. But
media law, media stuff.
Sue us for our vast sponsorship wealth.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of things involved here, as we well know. So, my agent would have had to have called your agent, even though I think we have all the same.
I think we all three have the same agent.
Yeah. So.
It would have been a quick call.
Yeah, it would have been a quick call, and we would have worked it out, and I would have walked away with hundreds of dollars, I think, in my
$1.2 hundred.
1.2 honey.
Baby, describe the scent of Altroeg's.
I don't know what the scent of Altroeg's is, other than I think the scent was, hey, hold on, should we talk about this? Hold on, should we not talk about this? And I feel like maybe that sort of the cautiousness. Sort of the controlled, but I don't want anyone to think I'm cautious. Cautiousness of Troeg's, I think maybe that's faded.
That's a good description.
It is a good description, and I feel like you filled those shoes admirably because I think of the three of us, like you have the most on the line here in terms of like future book deals and stuff. So like you've been coy as Troeg's was coy from time to time, but I want to talk, Piper, about the actual scent of Troeg's. And I think it's like 1990s like youth group room mixed with whatever like male fragrance evangelical men feel comfortable with, because they're conflicted about male fragrances in general.
What do you graduate from Axe body spray to? Because it's not the Axe body spray. That's a little juvenile. It's the one just juvenile. It's the next one up.
What is the next one up? What is it?
Some kind of like Old Spice, body spray that sort of masquerades as deodorant.
In the red
you spray
can?
it like kind of all over your torso.
Yeah, or like some,
what I mean?
Maybe like a Nautica cologne where it's like it kind of looks like it's some name brand thing, but it's really like $14 a bottle. Smells a little bit like rubbing alcohol.
You can get it at TJ Maxx.
That's right.
Nautica men's fragrance mixed with 1990s youth group room. So there it is. That's a scent of Troeg's. Smells like Teen Spirit, baby.
Yeah, pretty much.
Boys, we have got a full slate of topics to talk about. I'm excited to get into this. Do we? Before we do that, pour yourself a cup of Lagares Roasters coffee. Don't walk to lagaresroasters.com. Get a cup of the best coffee you will ever taste. And boys, we actually have some breaking publishing news here in the studio today. Because we're media moguls, from time to time we get promotional emails from authors, from publishers, and there's just a lot to wade through. But I think we're all in alignment on this one. When it came across our desks, we just felt as a group like we had to talk about it. So I'm going to produce this news release here in the studio. I'm going to cue up the breaking news audio, and then we're going to get into this release about a book called The Other Thief. So here's the breaking news audio. Dun 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 dun. Okay, boys. I have in my possession a news release about a novel called The Other Thief by one Frank McKinney. Now, Frank McKinney is to be fair, he's an author that none of us have heard about. His website bills him as a real estate artist. Piper, I may be like the Philistine in the room, but I don't know what a real estate artist is. You live in Nashville, which is one of the fastest growing markets in America. Can you enlighten me as to what a real estate artist is or does?
You know what? All that comes to mind is Billy Joel singing about a real estate novelist, and I think he does the illustrated version of that. So he's like a real estate graphic novelist.
He's a real estate graphic novelist, and the other subheading under his name here on the website is best-selling author. So apparently one Frank McKinney has been making the rounds in publishing.
I feel like maybe we should let our listeners in on a little trick of the trade in this publishing thing.
Yeah.
The phrase best-selling is completely relative.
What do you have to do to be able to be comfortable saying that about yourself? How many books do you have to sell?
You just have to be the best-selling author in whatever category is in your mind. So I'm the best-selling author in my home. Therefore, I am a best-selling author.
There you go. Yeah. Until
Ted,
your daughters start writing, then
Ted,
there'll be some competition.
You have more categories you can pick from because you've written books that have been in multiple categories and have sold significantly more than my books have. I don't know Ronnie's book sales, but probably more than his as well. So Ronnie's probably the best-selling author at his church, which would make him a best-selling author.
He's the best-selling author that used to be in Joy Electric. I think it's safe to say that.
You are the best-selling, former long snapper for a semi-pro football team.
Absolutely, I wear that with pride.
So it's almost like award-winning,
Dude,
that's another one you can throw on there that it spices up your bio and means approximately nothing.
Dude, sometime we should, on a future program, we should talk about kind of the quaintest award we've ever won. Because I've got some funny stories in that space. But enough about us, boys. I'm here to talk about Frank McKinney and his new book, The Other Thief. Now, Ron, I want you to I hope you have the cover art in front of you. Do you have that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all looking at the same thing. I want you, Ron, to just kind of paint a picture for the listeners, because this is radio and not television, of what the cover of The Other Thief looks like by Frank McKinney.
Well, I think it's what you would expect if you were looking for a sultry, romance novel
about the crucifixion.
About the crucifixion.
Let's be clear, that's the subject matter.
Obviously, that's a massive genre.
Yeah.
I mean, every time you're going through checkout at your grocery store, you're seeing all of the crucifix romance genre novels, just literally enticing you to grab them and buy them. And so when we look at The Other Thief, again, the subtitle being a collision of love, flesh, and faith. Let's not miss the sub. And I'm sure he sweated over that sub. I'm sure he spent a long time over that.
Blood, sweat, and tears. You guys know how hard it is. I mean, the great ones make it look easy, but it is difficult. So
this is what we have. So we have a picture. Yeah. We have a half picture of what presumably is Jesus Christ on the cross with the sign. With whatever the insignia and the sign. Here is the King of the Jews behind his head. Yeah. But you only see part of Jesus's sort of marred body, and then in the background you see a bigger image of the other thief, the thief to his right. And then there is now a woman, not presumably, she's a woman in red wearing this long flowing, just gorgeous gown that wraps around his naked torso all the way up
Dude, I see that with the gown now.
I like how you use the word torso. That's a very strategic use of a word that means something. Yeah, we'll call it his midsection, if you will.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it
family
PG-13.
friendly.
Keep it PG.
And then in the background you have what is obviously like it couldn't just be a blue sky. It has to be lightning. Because, at some point everything went black. But really, I think what I want to key on in more than anything is the bottom of his cross, which is on fire.
In fuego.
And the very suggestive look of the woman in red with the dress that is literally draped around him all the way.
Yeah, that gown is unbelievable. I just noticed.
Oh, the gown is gorgeous.
For that.
Guys. Can we just talk about the gown for a minute? I mean, we're going to get all into this other stuff. Let's talk about the gown.
Yeah, this is. Sure. I mean, this is like becoming red carpet happy rant, but it is a very red carpety sort of gown.
Yes.
Piper, I want to turn our attention to the physique, the person of the other thief. Now,
I was about to say I wanted to comment on the lats of Jesus, which is not a thing I think has ever been said on this podcast, but just the lats and triceps of Jesus Christ on this book cover are
absolutely.
They're divine.
Dude, his lat and tricep game is just off the charts. Unbelievable upper body strength there. This Jesus has spent. Yeah. He's put some time in the gym.
He has no problems carrying the sins of the world with those muscles.
Yeah, with those shoulders, yeah. I mean, good luck to you, world. Weighing down this physique.
You're
now, Piper,
nothing.
Let's talk about the other thief. How much, just looking at the physique there, and Piper, I know you're a sports guy. I'm a sports guy too. We get into, the NFL combine and metrics. How many reps with 2.25 do you think the other thief could do?
That is a good question. I mean, I put it in probably like upper 20s.
Oh wow, yeah.
So I'd say like 24 to 27.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to go a little lower. I was going to go 15 to 20 range, which is very respectable for, linebackers, strong safety.
But usually the top linemen do like upper 30s to 40s. And this guy is like, this guy is like one of those, he's like strong safety, wide receiver phenom. So yeah, I mean, I'd mid 20s easy.
He's like Taylor Mays. Remember Taylor Mays from the 90s? Played strong safety at USC. He was like 6'2", 230, ran like a 4.4.
Was a terrible football player in the NFL, but was an absolute workout warrior.
And was an unbelievable kill shot guy in college. Yes. I mean, his YouTube clips are sensational. But yeah, that's what we're looking at here with the other thief. Now, Ron, you come from the music industry, so I want you to do, if you would, a little work on describing the other thief from the neck up. Because I feel like he looks like, to me, every 80s rock star. He looks like Bret Michaels from Poison. Speak to that, Big O.
Yeah, he looks. I mean, I would say I would get a little more into the 90s, and I would say he looks a little bit more like when heavy metal guys in the 90s knew they were in trouble, and so they stopped blonding out their hair and they let it go natural. They let it go. They let it go to its natural brown or black color, and they let the natural curls kind of just get back into it, and they had a lot of facial hair. And or he either just looks like that, or he looks like he looks like the lead singer of Megadeth. It's a cross between
Dave Mustaine.
Yeah, Dave Mustaine. And you know what? I can't tell from my angle here on my comp, but I swear he has his left arm looks like a full sleeve. And I'm not sure, and it might just be where he's all battered and bruised, but he looks tattooed.
No, I agree. He looks tattooed.
Do you know what I'm saying right now? If you boys are looking at it, I'm
looking right at it.
And now I'm starting to think if Our Lady in Red has a bunch of tats on her back, but that just might be man, this image is so captivating.
You're just projecting. Yeah, I think you're just projecting monster tramp stamp onto her, but he definitely looks tatted up.
Yeah. Can we talk about the fire at the bottom of the cross?
Baby, this is your program. You are a made man. You talk about the fire.
I want to
talk about whatever you want.
I mean, man, I'm telling you, man. I mean, I've preached on the crucifixion a few times, and I don't remember the fire part. I remember the girl in red.
Of course.
I don't remember, right? Because Mary was standing there. I don't remember the fire part at all. So maybe you guys can help me. I mean, I know I'm the resident man of the cloth, but I forget things. I don't remember everything. You know?
Let me read you a blurb from the back cover of the book that I think will shed some light on this. And here it is. This is from, oh my gosh, man. This is funny, Piper. I just saw who the blurb was from. He's from the guy that owns like all of West Michigan. I'll give some context to that in a minute. Here's the blurb. McKinney creates an entirely new and daring genre with The Other Thief. Tortuously is the word. Now, we're all word men. I don't know that that's an actual word because it's not torturously. It's tortuously honest and painfully vulnerable. And this blurb is from Rich DeVos, co-founder of Amway and author of Simply Rich. Rich DeVos, as mentioned before, owns like everything like left of Ionia, Michigan, all the way to Lake Michigan, if you're looking at a map. But yeah, he's this sort of rich Dutch Christian guy that all other Christian Dutch guys in Michigan aspire to be. That's high praise, though. So I think when you're creating a new genre, you can take some liberties with like whether or not
you get to create words as well, and I think that's absolutely acceptable.
Now, this next blurb is bonkers, Piper. You're a film guy, so I want you to speak to the veracity of this one. Here it is. Quote, Fatal Attraction meets The Passion of the Christ as
This is the one I sent to you guys as the hook for this topic. I knew if I just dropped that phrase, you guys would be in.
Uh-huh. Fatal Attraction meets The Passion of the Christ as flesh collides with faith. That's from Steve Alton, New York Times bestselling author of Meg. Speak to that one, Piper.
Wait a minute. Is Meg the thing that was just turned into a shark movie?
I have no idea what Meg is.
That's kind of what I was wondering.
Because there's a movie out called, I think, Meg or The Meg.
It's a really bad shark movie.
Which is apparently just horrendous as a film. But I mean,
you know what? It was time for another shark movie. Jaws kind of missed the mark. I mean, that really did. That movie didn't really accomplish anything.
Not iconic. So, nobody remembers it. No. Soundtrack sucked.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm always down for a mashup you wouldn't expect. I mean, it's like Brussels sprouts and chocolate. Served at this restaurant. That's a little bit what this sounds like to me.
That sounds like a donut that Big R just ate. Like a hipster donut that he spent with $74 on.
A cayenne pepper aftertaste kind of
glaze.
Thing.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit what this is like. I mean, it's just like you almost have to dig in just to see how does Fatal Attraction mesh with the Passion of the Christ. That's intriguing at the very least.
Yeah, it really is, man. It really is. Now, at one point, we had located a bio for one Frank McKinney. And do you guys have that? Do you have it on you?
I don't.
I'm not finding it.
There's a bio on. Well, here, I think there's a quick one here.
T, wasn't that the one where you just read the real estate thing, though, man? That wasn't the bio?
Dude, somebody read that out loud, but it wasn't me.
So Frank McKinney is a 5-time best-selling author. Took 9 years to write and release this eagerly anticipated 6th title. I know I was eagerly anticipating it as soon as I found out it existed.
The buzz about this thing is unbelievable.
48 hours ago. In doing so, he has not only entered his 5th book genre. That's good.
Just don't 5 for 5 genre-wise.
That's right. Don't stick to what you know. But he's created an entirely new and daring one. So not only has he entered a new genre, he has created one. Evocative and filled with honest grit, as opposed to dishonest grit, which we have no place for. The Other Thief pushes limits like nothing that has ever come before it.
Nothing. Nothing. One thing.
Never
in the world of media.
In the world of pushing limits, this has surpassed them all.
This surpasses like Dennis Rodman in the '90s in the NBA.
There's no naked Harley riding. There's no men in wedding dresses. There's nothing. A true Renaissance man, Frank is a real estate artist, ultramarathoner, actor, aspirational speaker. Does that mean he aspires to speak?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never know what that word means.
I mean, I know what aspirational means. I think usually when you hear speaker, you would hear like inspirational or informational. Aspirational means like he is trying to say words. And an usher for the last 20 years at his 7 a.m. mass.
There you go.
That I think is the crown jewel of his accomplishments.
Yeah, why do you think he had to mention that particular point?
That keeps it it keeps it on the regular guide.
I mean, not an elder, not a pastor, not a community group leader, an usher at his 7, did it say a.m. or p.m.
7
mass?
a.m. mass.
Okay.
It's early.
I'm going to read his book now.
There's also a touch of the little old ladies love him because they love the 7 a.m. mass, and here's this rock star, handsome kid rock looking guy doing ushering.
Yeah, there's a lot of rock star going on in that book trailer that we watched.
Yeah.
I actually do want to I would love to read a couple of chapters of The Other Thief. Now that
Can we get it? Is it available on this website? The sample chaps?
Yes.
Can I read this sentence and just I just want to work all of these multisyllabic words into it. I just want to put this in front of you, gentlemen, as wordsmiths. So here we go. A philanthrocapitalist, he has made an unfathomable humanitarian impact. Just that right there. That is just a string of syllables. In Haiti through his Caring House project. That actually sounds like a legitimate thing. Frank,
this guy's probably a good dude. I'm already feeling low-key guilty about this. But
I should have stopped before Haiti so we could have made fun of him.
That's true.
Frank, his wife Nilsa, and their daughter Laura make their home in Delray Beach, Florida, where Frank wrote The Other Thief in his oceanfront treehouse office, pictured below.
Did we get a picture of the office? I want to see this thing.
If you go to that landing page and you scroll down,
I'm scrolling.
you see.
I see it.
Yeah, it's a small photo.
Dude, okay, so I want to lay something on you, and then I will respond to the multisyllabic words in that section that you just read. But this photo and the content of his bio, and boys, I may be way off base here, but I think the subtext of all this is that Frank McKinney's got himself a rich wife. You know what I mean? Like if you're an ultra marathoner and a philanthrocapitalist and a part-time musician with a treehouse like that, you got yourself a rich lady. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, are you guys on frankmckinney.com yet?
I'm there, man. That's what we're looking at.
No, so I turned back to the PR email they sent me about this, and I have some nuggets from this that I'd like to share whenever the conversation moves this way. So you go first, Ron, because I'm sure you have some observations that are gold.
Well, dude,
what do you have for me, Ron?
Well, I have not just the tree house. I have the oceanfront beach house that I'm looking at, which looks literally bonkers.
Yeah, rich lady.
Yeah, are you looking at this?
Do you think?
No, I'm not.
Do you think he real estate artistry'd that thing?
Well, I don't know. You guys go to frank-mckinney.com because that's
I'm there. But which page on which subpage?
Homepage.
Homepage.
Because
I'm looking on my phone.
I would encourage our listeners right now, as we're talking about it, to click on it as well, so they can.
Oh, baby, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it right now.
Dude, it's outrageous.
It's bonkers.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Judas Priestess. This guy. Dude, Frank McKinney's living his best life, man. I see you, Frank.
Absolutely.
I figured out what a real estate artist is, guys.
What?
So I found another page that's back on the frankmckinney.com about Frank. He is now known around the globe as a real estate quote-unquote artist and the creative force behind some of the world's finest and most magnificent oceanfront mansions ever built on speculation.
I see.
I mean, I know about half those words. And so if you put them together, I think he essentially draws pictures of amazing homes and rich people go, that one. I want to create that.
Yeah, I want to build that.
I'm clicking on estate home sold so we can see like this
book thing is this is like second career situation.
Totally.
This is a vanity situation, book-wise.
Vanity project for sure.
Sweet mercy. He sold a house for $50 million.
Dude, you know what? We're the schmucks.
We were talking.
You know what I mean?
No, we don't. We don't know what we're talking about. I mean,
the three of us probably don't have $50 to rub together if we emptied our wallets right now. This guy's
the average selling price of the 43 oceanfront properties he has sold is $14 million a piece. So these are homes that like professional athletes can't afford. It's the owners of the teams who get these things.
Absolutely.
Like
absolutely.
Musicians don't buy these, record label executives buy these.
Yeah.
This is
I'm seeing my boy Frank in a different light right
now.
We're
way out of our league.
Yeah,
we had no idea.
We moved from mockery into jealousy real fast.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Which is going to swing back around to mockery, though.
Because we have to make ourselves feel better.
Guys, just one more thing. I'm clicking on his tour schedule because there might be something here for us.
Oh, while you're looking at that, let me give you a little tip about his tour. The Seven Deadly Sins book tour, which is the name of the one that goes with this book. Frank will be crossing the country in a 1941 World War II ambulance tour bus.
Of course he will.
This
is fantastic.
That is a nugget. You know what? I bet he found it in like the fields of France, had it shipped back to Florida, where he restored it by hand in his spare time when he's not selling $14 million homes.
Absolutely. This is unbelievable. This gets better. Now, boys, real talk here. We've all written books under, pretty sizable publishing labels with like marketing budgets, and nobody really does book tours anymore. But I dare say we've all done like book signings that were reasonably well publicized by publishers. And I got to tell you, man, you're lucky if 10, 20 people show up. You know what I mean? I mean, that's like a good night. So this guy, like touring across the country in his 1940s, ambulance, who gets off the couch for this? You know what I mean? Like who's your target demo to get off the couch and go see Frank McKinney at a bookstore?
Well, it says right here, man, he's addressed groups as small as 10 and as large as 10K.
Well, there you go. That's just a nice range. I like that.
It's a range, man. It's about as wide of a range as
it really is, isn't it?
Humanly get.
To be fair, he's probably addressed groups smaller than 10. It just doesn't, it doesn't have quite the symmetry.
That's called 10 dinner. That's called dinner with the kids.
That's called a dinner party. Yeah, exactly. Man, I tell you what. Any Ron insights on where he's going to be and if he's going to be near the three of us at all?
Yeah, so he's near you guys, man. He's in Nashville. Well, he's really near.
He's coming to Nashville.
I mean, yeah.
Of course.
So,
where's he going to be in Nashville and when?
I'm trying. He's going to be near me in. I got a little Indianapolis, which is 3 hours away. Click below to view photos from each city.
Yes.
I don't think he's gotten to Nashville yet.
Well,
so
I want to see some photos.
Let me get into a little like psychographic information. You asked who would come out for this. Geography is important, but so let me give you a little information about this book. So we've talked about the book cover.
Yep.
Let's talk about the content and who this might draw. So it's a whole new genre. We discussed that. So here we go. Although the sex scenes in some language may not be perceived as explicit, the other thief will be considered highly controversial by many. So it's controversial. Is he
trying to do like a 50 Shades ish kind of a vibe?
They said it may not be perceived as explicit. So it's not like it's not word porn.
Maybe
that's
not.
good. But apparently it is edgy. We've discussed that. So Frank uses intense scenes mixed with scripture. How far is too far? Why push the limits when the same message could be conveyed more subtly? So these are questions that the publicist is asking us to consider. Then we move on to let's see. So we've got and basically he's also using this tour to promote his own philanthrocapitalism and his other efforts. But so I mean, it is a heart-wrenching love story about deception, pride, and adultery, among the other 7 deadly sins, and then mercy, grace, and forgiveness.
There you go.
Does the author go too far? Is it too sexy? In the context of exhibiting a more authentic, transparent, and vulnerable discussion, man, that's just buzzword that's just buzzword battery row right there.
That's buzzword salad right there.
Man, I know I'm full. Which seems to be evolving as an acceptable part of society's dialogue. There's another one, dialogue. It's certainly part of the narrative. There's another one of this spiritually daring new book by 5-time best-selling author Frank McKinney. So that sentence included every single buzzword an evangelical wants to hear: authentic, transparent, vulnerable, dialogue, narrative, and spiritually daring. Look at that.
So good. So good.
I think that's why people will come out for this, because he absolutely is pitch perfect with his buzzwords.
Yep. No, he really is, man. He's nice
a master.
job.
He's a master.
I'm so jealous right now. I'm jealous of his treehouse. I'm jealous of his 1941 ambulance. I'm jealous of being able to use buzzwords with this effectiveness.
I know, man.
I'm jealous of the red dress, all of it.
One day your buzzword game will be the same, and your Latin tricep game too. So dare to dream, boys.
I know. I wish I was the other thief. I'd have great muscles.
Seriously.
I'm going to write one called the other thief. Like not that other thief, but the other thief.
Yeah, the other one. Got it.
Nobody gives him enough. He doesn't get enough press.
That'll be Frank's follow-up. Won't it be like the other thief, the other thief. Go to other
the thief. Go to
otherthief.com. I just bought that. That's
good. He'll buy it from you for $14 million.
Exactly. That'll be the best, the most successful thing I've ever done in my
Frank,
life.
I just got an email from Frank about otherthief.com. So I'm making some money right now.
Dude, we'll split it and we'll buy a beach house for the program.
From Frank.
Can we buy one designed by Frank? I mean, is that what you mean?
Are there any other beach houses, baby? Of course. What are we, animals?
No, of course. I mean, we're not just going to take his money and not give it back to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Insane.
Boys, what else is there to say on this, man? As authors, how do we feel about this? And I want to lay one more
philosophically about it, Ted. Talk a little philosophy behind it, and let's put it a little more on the serious tip. Like, what do we think about this, and what's offensive about it, and
Well, I mean, let's be clear. Like roughly 2 minutes after we're done recording, I will forget that this ever existed. So there is that. I mean, unless I tell you, unless the media frenzy surrounding the Frank McKinney book tour, I mean, it could touch my life. It could be that I can't even turn around here at my university without somebody mentioning this thing, and what am I going to do with that, jealousy wise?
The Buzz Union.
I want to talk about how this may be the flagship title for a publishing house called Health Communications Incorporated. So Health Communications, I'm guessing by the name of the house, and Piper, you're in the industry, maybe you could shed more light on HCI, Health Communications. Like what are some of the other titles that they've done, and where does this fit into their lineup, if you will, their list? I mean, is this going to be the cash cow that we think it's going to be for Health Communications Incorporated?
Well, I am at hcibooks.com, the Life Issues publisher. Here are some of their featured titles, or their new titles. Namaste the Hard Way.
Yep.
From Fearful to Fear-Free. That one has a happy dog on the cover.
Good.
Psychic Deborah Graham's Guide to Attracting and Keeping Your True Love.
Okay.
She looks a little bit like, what is her name? Hilarious, Saturday Night Live, was in Parks and Rec.
Rachel Dratch.
What's that?
No. Rachel Dratch?
No, the Parks and Rec one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Amy Poehler.
Yes, that's the one. She looks like Amy Poehler. Whole Body Reboot. The Peruvian Superfoods Diet to Detoxify, Energize, and Supercharge Fat Loss.
So it
Ronnie,
sounds like this publisher... there you go, Big R. This publisher does a brisk business in kooky authors, it sounds like.
Post-romantic
stress almost like
disorder.
Self-help, like everything's great, best life now-ish kind of like topics.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of that.
Let's look at their bestsellers list.
All right.
All Frank McKinney.
The Betrayal Bond. Oolah for Women, how to balance the 7 key areas of life to have less stress, something. Inkspirations, The Power of Positive Inking. I think that's a coloring book. Hypnobirthing, 4th edition. The Natural Approach to Safer, Easier, and More Comfortable Birthing.
Cool.
Sex Addicts Anonymous. Apparently that one doesn't have the author listed. Cooking Your Way to Gorgeous.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think a Christian edgy romance novel fits right into this.
Yeah. No, this is right in the wheelhouse then. And real talk here, Piper, and Ron. We've all worked with a lot of different publishers. I've got to think this guy is he's like my diametric opposite in that the publisher's got to be thrilled with all the marketing that he's willing to do for himself. You know what I mean? So they have this pitch meeting, and if it's me across the table from the publisher, they're like, Ted, how do you plan to market this book? And I say, I'll probably mention it a couple times on my podcast, and I will do absolutely nothing else. Frank McKinney sits across the same table, and they're like, Frankie, what are we looking at vis-a-vis marketing for this book? And he's like, well, cracks his knuckles. I've purchased a 1941 ambulance, and I plan to drive it across the country in a tour in which I hit literally every city there is and talk about the book. Dude, they got to be wetting themselves with excitement, Piper, don't you think? This health communications, the bigwigs over there at HCI.
Yeah, I mean, just judging by their website, I'm going to guess it's not a huge budget publisher. Now, I could be wrong, but they have not put a lot of money into their website.
Maybe where are they located, HCI? Fifth Avenue, Manhattan? I mean, this is a Manhattan house, right?
I'm going to go to the Contact Us page.
Dude, I'm going to guess either Manhattan or a really sad city in Florida.
Oh, man, goodness.
Yeah.
Are you looking at the page?
No, I swear to gosh, I'm not.
Okay, well, it's not Manhattan. It is, in fact, Deerfield Beach, Florida.
There you go. Oh, Deerfield Beach, the Manhattan of Florida.
Oh, or the really sad city you just predicted right on the
vibrant
nose.
Center of culture and commerce. Man, the energy in Deerfield Beach, Big R. You could cut it with a knife.
Oh, man.
It's unbelievable, that town.
Many days and nights I spent in Deerfield. It's a lot of stuff I can't even talk about.
Maybe you've been to 2 or 3 retreats in Deerfield.
Oh, absolutely.
I
just got back from speaking. I'm going to be going to one next week.
You've still got your Deerfield tan. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, I never get any other tan other than Deerfield tan.
Oh, gosh, I love that town. Well, boys, here's hoping. Maybe we could place a book with HCI, I don't know. Dare to dream, guys. But anything else on this? I feel like we could devote the whole episode to this.
I think we almost did.
We kind of have, haven't we? Is there anything else to say? What are the odds that anyone in our circles will interact with this book on any level besides us? Which we've just given Frank McKinney an hour of free publicity, by the way.
We have,
which is probably not what the publicist had in mind when they sent me that email, but you get what you pay for. So
all press is good press, right?
That's true. I guess.
All press good press?
Here's what I would like to see, and I'm not trying to be funny, man, but I want to see if our marketing for Frankie actually was effective. I want to see proof that at least one of our fans orders the book and has the book and literally sends us a picture of them with the actual book in their hands and just basically says, hey, the marketing worked. I'm reading The Other Thief.
Okay, listen, I've got a job for one of the two of you to do right now because I can't do it for self-loathing reasons, but I feel like the two of you are both stronger men than me. I would like one of you to log on to our favorite little mom and pop bookseller, Amazon.com, and just see how the pre-sales are going. Just check the rank. And I can't do it because it'll make me feel even worse about myself. But
all right, The Other Thief.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, they're not discounting it yet. That's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still 20. It's still 20 bones.
It is ranked 427,535th.
I bet it's ranked better than the book that I have out right now.
In print books. Well, the let's see. Well, let's go find yours.
Yeah, but you didn't. But look at this pipe in crucifixion romance. It's number one.
the genre that he created.
Yeah.
Number one in the genre
of romance. It's number one of.
Oh, Ted, you're 200,000 spots above him.
Oh, check me out,
you
Piper.
I was about to say beat the pants off of it, but no one in that book's wearing pants anyway. So
that's right. I beat the red sash off the other thief.
You beat the strategically placed sash right off book.
That's right. It becomes a much more explicit cover at that point. But
yeah, sorry about that, Frank. Now we do have to discuss your edginess.
Exactly. Oh man. Well, that makes me feel better.
Well, let's see how it's doing in Kindle pre-sales because those. 3,208,932 in Kindle store pre-sales.
He's getting slaughtered in Kindle sales.
Yeah, not awesome, but
not awesome.
Okay, well here's a selling point. Betsy DeVos said nice things about it, and I think we should probably stop there before we turn this into a political podcast and get ourselves in trouble.
Dude, what did our girl Betsy say?
Betsy DeVos said, McKinney creates an entirely new and daring genre with The Other Thief. Oh, she's the one who said tortuously honest and painfully vulnerable. Wait a minute. The Secretary of Education is making up words?
I feel like that was Rich DeVos that said that on my thing, but you know what? There could be some nuance, some gray area there,
Wait,
a lot of overlap here.
There's some shenanigans going on here because there's DeVos confusion. Our Secretary of Education is making up words, which might come as no surprise to some people. I don't know. I'm throwing a flag on this one. 15-yard penalty for BS.
Dude, what are the odds that he sold a beach mansion to the DeVosses? And that's how, this publishing marriage came to be with them blurbing his book.
I mean, weirder things.
Dude, speaking of weird things, I think I did Rich DeVos's radio show one time to promote one of my books. He has a radio show, and I think I was on it, and it was maybe the worst radio experience I've ever had.
Boy,
it was one of those
that is saying something given Christian radio.
Yeah, it was one of those hey, I see here you wrote a book. Why don't you tell us about it? And right. it went on in that vein for 10 minutes. It was awful.
It's all the same question.
Yeah. And I remember I was camping with my family because the budget was tight, and we were opting to do that to make memories for our kids. And I'm just like, this guy could buy and sell me thousands of times over, and I'm on my cell phone at a campground, struggling through the worst radio interview I've ever had in my life. I just felt really terrible.
You know what's funny, you guys? I want to talk about that next time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this on the next ep. I want to talk about most broad, general questions that we've ever gotten from people, from interviewers when they're trying to talk about something that they haven't engaged in, which is fine because they haven't and you're expecting that. But I mean, I'm telling you, I feel like if you just gave me a book right now and all I had was if I had Other Thief and I was calling Frank to interview him right now, dude, I would be able to ask him some legitimately intelligent questions. And
I would go deep dive just on the cover.
For real. I mean, it's phenomenal the questions you get from some of these people that are so it's like, dude, you really don't want to be doing this right now, do you at all?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Hey, I see that you're a person. Tell us about that.
We should. I think we tried this on an episode maybe 2 years ago, which means it doesn't exist in any of our memories. But we did try to do an episode where we interviewed one another as if two of us were radio hosts and the other one was the author, and we asked typical radio show questions.
And, dude, I don't remember that. Was that
awkward?
Trogs?
It was as awkward and stilted as you would guess by such a sort of a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't remember that. That must have been a Troger.
It was a long time ago. So,
dude, I remember when we did real earnest interviews with each other, and to this day, I have people still saying that those were their favorite eps.
Oh yeah, that was that last summer when we were on various vacations.
That was a good run. Absolutely.
Oh, the glory days.
Well, boys, tip of the distressed Brett Michaels cap to one Frank McKinney, man. He's he never ceases to surprise me, Piper.
Oh, every time.
You think Frank McKinney and here we are confronted with new information.
Hey, I had heard rumors about the other thief, I think 8 years ago, and I was like, well, I mean, it's probably going to, because I know how he writes. He takes his time.
He takes his time. He's a craftsman,
Absolutely.
you know, and you hear these things in publishing.
I had no idea it was going to be something this.
Is it this big? Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen?
Yeah, I mean,
everywhere you go.
I think I can speak for all of us in just saying, just absolutely mind blown. You know,
mind blown. Lovely man too. You know,
Frankie. You know, I mean, I think we've all enjoyed our time with Frankie.
We sure have. I mean, what a genuine guy. Just I hope I can work with him on a project in the future, and I hope the project is designing my $14 million beach home. You know, so Frank, if you're out there, if you want to do a little, if you want to build us a beach house in exchange for some sponsorships on the program, I don't know. Ethically, would we be down for that? So if this is the last question.
The answer is correct.
Yeah. If Frank McKinney came to us as a show and said, I will design you a $14 million beach house in exchange for a year's worth of sponsorship on the program. And I think we can confidently say that valuation wise, I mean, I haven't crunched all the numbers, but that's basically a 1-to-1. I mean, that's what we're looking at for a year.
I mean, I think we can confidently say we'd all like pose for his next other thief, like book cover.
How naked would you get on his cover? Seriously.
For a $14 million beach home?
Sash over the midsection? Are you going sash over midsection on the cover?
For a $14 million beach home.
And I'm asking all three of us. Big R, you go first. $14 million sponsorship, but you have to go sash right over the midsection on the cover.
No question.
Okay. Do you get to pick the material for the sash though? What if it's like dark denim and flannel? I'm guessing you're all in.
It can be the red. It can be the lady in red.
It could be red velvet. Piper?
I mean, I'm all in. I'm all in for my 14 mil beach home. That's not even a question.
Yeah, I would not only do that, I would then announce why I did it, so that it's be like I did this so that I could get a really, really nice house,
a really sweet house.
Yeah, and I mean, just there would be no shame, no hiding. Just like, yeah, absolutely. That was the offer, and I took it.
That was it.
Dude,
and then I would
like
sell the house, and I would reinvest all my money in a Happy Rant sponsorship.
Absolutely. I would do it, but I would definitely I'd take about a month and a half. I'd diet down a little bit. You know, I'd hit, you know, I'd just amp up the gym program a little bit. You know,
I love how you're concerned with how, I mean, you know, they can paint you any way they want, Big T.
I know they can, but baby,
I would just say cut me a little. I would just say, carve me out a little bit.
Carve me out a little bit. Yeah, a little more in the lats, a little more. I want some Tom Hardy traps on that cover, man. I want people to look at the three of us and go, oh, the traps on Big T. Look at that. He's been shrugging. He's been doing some shrugs. So, Frank, if you're listening, there it is. The three of us on the cover, 1 year of Happy Rant sponsorship in exchange for a $14 million beach house. So that's the offer. Thief. Yeah, that's the offer. That's the offer. That's
that one's not the other thief, dude. You're talking Simon of Cyrene, man. That's the one after the other thief.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking a whole series, really. But
dude.
The show is here. The show is here to promote, provided we get a beach home on the other side of it. So, boys, with that, I think we can safely say we've wandered to and fro throughout this one topic. So this is the Frank. What's his last name? McKinney. Yeah, this is the Frank McKinney episode of the Happy Rant podcast. So, immortalized forever. I hope his book tour goes well. Piper, what radius would the tour have to come? Like 20-mile radius of your house, 5 miles to get you off the couch, just for ironic ha-ha purposes, for you to go see it.
It would be less about radius and more about company. There's 0% chance I would attend this on my own. However, I would attend if a friend talked me into it.
Like if we were there, Pipe, it would we might come out just for that.
If we could go Mystery Science Theater this thing, I'm in.
Dude, we could do a little remote. We could put live mics. We could wear a wire.
Whisper into our phones quietly.
Dude, yeah, it'll be the Wire episode, and yeah, we just go live on the whole thing. I would do that. I would definitely do that. I think for myself, I would not get off the couch for it unless it was literally in my neighborhood. So if he was going to be visiting a home on Leawood Drive in Humboldt, Tennessee, and I could walk there, I would do it. But probably nowhere else.
Baby, let me just suggest that you not throw out your address like that, because we got a lot of people now that are looking up Leewood Drive.
We got a lot of fans.
It's going to be dangerous for you.
Baby.
It's going to be dangerous. Yeah. I'm just thinking about you right now.
Dude, the adulation, it's a safety issue, really.
It's a safety issue.
People are just going to be driving up and down that street looking for
the
caddy.
I'm you know what? Cut this out.
I mean, you think they're not doing that already? Maybe the Resonate guys can bleep out my street.
Bleep out Leewood, please.
In fact, Resonate guys, I would like you to bleep that out.
Yeah, Leewood Drive. Oh, shoot.
Dude, those guys don't even listen.
Keep saying Leewood Drive.
Dude, they add that bumper on the intro and out. That's all they don't listen. But Resonate guys, if you're listening, bleep out Leewood Drive. Thank you very much.
They would never listen to this podcast.
That's right. Like you, baby. That's how detached and cynical they are about
it. It's just how.
What podcast? What am I even doing right now?
I don't know what I'm doing right now.
What if I even wandered?
It doesn't even matter, because at this point nobody's listening either.
Yeah, exactly. They've already arrived at work.
Because, boys, we've wandered to and fro throughout this one topic, and until next time, Rachel the Held Evans.
The Happy Rant is brought to you by Resonate Recordings. If you go to resonaterecordings.com, you can see the full range of services they offer. So if you're considering starting a podcast, they are the ones we recommend going with. Again, go to resonaterecordings.com to see their prices, to connect with them and ask any questions, and to see what they can do to help you launch, edit, master, and improve your podcast. Again, go to resonaterecordings.com to see what they can do to help you launch and improve your podcast.